Jonesy. While the Nostromo crew in Ridley Scott's Alien faced one of the deadliest creatures in sci-fi history, one survivor wasn't a battle-hardened engineer or a fearless warrant officer. It was a cat. That's right. Jonesy, the orange tabby who outlived the alien. Officially, his name was Jones. To the crew, just Jonesy. A scruffy ginger cat who served as the Nostromo's pest control, mainly as a nod to the old-world maritime ships that actually needed them. In a universe of acid-blooded monsters and corporate conspiracies, Jonesy is just a cat. When the alien began its rampage, he ended up in a cryocarrier, safe but helpless. In one of the film's most chilling moments, the xenomorph actually leans down and looks at him through the glass. It kills Brett right in front of Jonesy, but leaves the cat alone. Jonesy does snarl at the alien, whether out of fear or aggression we can't be certain. Ripley, of course, isn't about to leave him behind. In the film's climax, she scoops up Jonesy's carrier before blowing the Nostromo to pieces. Together, they drift away in the shuttle Narcissus. When Aliens begins, we see Jonesy again, safe, purring, and probably wondering what all the fuss was about. But this time, Ripley leaves him behind. She knows where she's going is no place for a cat. Jonesy shouldn't have to go back to LV-426. From then on, Jonesy quietly fades from the saga, but his legacy remains. Over the years, Jonesy has become a cult icon. He's in video games, comics, and even has his own illustrated book, Jonesy, 9 Lives on the Nostromo. Spike the dog. In the theatrical cut of Alien 3, the alien story begins with Spike, a Rottweiler kept by prisoner Murphy on Fiorina 161. Within the rusted corridors of the prison foundry, Spike is one of the few signs of life, loyal, quiet, and unaware of what's about to unfold. After the Sulaco's escape pod crashes on the planet's storm-swept shore, the inmates haul the wreckage back to base. Amid the twisted metal, something stirs. A facehugger. When Spike approaches the wreckage, curiosity draws him too close. Later, Spike lies trembling in his kennel, low growls turning to whimpers as something inside begins to claw its way out. What follows is the birth of the next nightmare aboard Fiorina 161, the alien's return, born not of man, but of beast. What makes this significant is that the host determines the alien's form. When the creature bursts from Spike, we see a quadrupedal chestburster, quickly growing into what fans call the runner alien, or what inmate Golic calls dragon. Unlike the human-born Xenos of the earlier films, this one moves on all fours, runs at incredible speed, and relies more on agility than stealth. This change alters the tone of the film. The prisoners aren't stalked by a slow, looming monster. They're hunted by a fast creature that can tear through the Foundry's tunnels in seconds. So while the design is still recognizably alien, Spike's host body proves that the xenomorph is an ever-evolving nightmare, always adapting, always reshaping itself into the deadliest version of whatever life it came from. Even in Alien Earth, the legacy of Spike lives on. Around the 38-minute mark of the pilot, there's a blink-and-you'll-miss-it shot, a Rottweiler roaming around the apartment block and the wreckage of the Maginot. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but intentional. A loving nod from showrunner Noah Hawley to the dog that first birthed the runner alien in Alien 3. Babe the Ox. 2003's assembly cut of Alien 3 introduces a creature you may have never heard of, Babe the Ox. Though Babe's name is never mentioned on screen, we know it from behind-the-scenes details. The assembly cut diverges from the theatrical cut by granting Spike the dog a reprieve, instead depicting poor Babe as the unfortunate facehugger host. The prisoners of Fiorina 161 drag the escape pod wreckage to shore and find Ripley unconscious. Alongside her is Babe, one of the oxen used by the inmates to pull heavy loads around the foundry. They lay the animal down, dead from exhaustion. Or so they believe. But soon, it becomes clear that something far worse is going on. What the men don't realize is that a facehugger has already done its work. Babe becomes the first ever bovine host in the series. From Babe's body, the newborn xenomorph claws its way into the world, more quadrupedal, animalistic, and faster than we have seen before. The use of an ox wasn't just a random change. It gave the alien a more beast-like design. Crouched low, sprinting on all fours, it felt different from the human-born creature in the original film, more primal. As with Spike, Babe directly shaped how the alien would stalk the prison corridors. Rascal the Cat. Rascal is the ginger cat aboard the USCSS Maginot, a Weyland-Yutani research vessel featured in Alien Earth. Though small and silent, Rascal plays a significant role, offering us unsettling glimpses of the horrors aboard through his own eyes. In a promotional video released months before the series started, Rascal wears a cat cam strapped to his collar, prowling through corridors, laboratories, and dimly lit decks. Through Rascal's camera, we witness the crew at work, containment canisters holding unknown specimens, and Mother's chilling Priority 1 directive. But Rascal's story ends in the worst way imaginable. During the chaos of the Maginot's crash, the cat becomes host to the grotesque Ocellus, a parasitic eyeball creature that attaches to his eye socket, taking control of his body. Rascal's presence is a clear homage to Jonesy, the ginger cat from the original Alien. Both cats share the same fiery orange coat and the same role as living warmth in the company's cold metal world. It almost feels like a Weyland-Yutani policy to place a comforting animal aboard each ship, a small comforting distraction in the brutal life of a space trucker. But while Jonesy escaped the xenomorph untouched, Rascal's fate is much darker. The last we see of Rascal is in episode 2 of the series, when the Lost Boys find the crashed ship's lab. Rascal is not in good shape, and as soon as the eye monster Ocellus sees it has company, it departs its feline host and looks for a new one, launching itself horrifically at Nibs. Rest in peace, Rascal. The Test Sheep. Seemingly ordinary, soft wool, docile. Just a normal sheep, but one that had been teased for months prior to Alien Earth's premiere. We knew it would be important, but we could never have guessed how. The team at the Neverland research compound are keeping the sheep in their lab with the specimens from the Maginot ship. This sheep becomes the star of the series in episode 4. The co-star of the scene in question is Ocellus, one of the alien specimens from the USCSS Maginot, and the same creature that killed off Rascal. This wriggly, tentacled beast has a particularly nasty method of invasion. It forces its way in through the left eye socket. So the Prodigy Corporation team, led by Kirsch and Boy Cavalier, put the eyeball monster into the sheep's enclosure and watch on as it violently gouges out the animal's eyeball to make the sheep its host. The sheep goes from a test subject to a walking puppet of alien horror. Once Ocellus has taken up residence, the sheep begins to act completely differently. It has become smarter and more observant. As the characters subsequently note, this sheep now has almost human-level powers of reasoning. The sheep continues to be the star of the season, ultimately triggering an alien jailbreak in episode 6 that has repercussions across every single other character. By the end of the season, the eyeball monster has let the sheep rest in peace, finding a human host to pilot next. Let's finish off our look at Alien Earth with another couple of animals from the new series. The Scorpion. In episode 1 of Alien Earth, we don't just meet spaceship crews or corporate execs. We briefly meet a scorpion too. It's not a pet, but it features prominently in a glass terrarium on Neverland Research Island. Young Marcy stares at it while Kirsch, the synthetic, asks her what she thinks of the creature. At first she's afraid, but then he flips the question. What must the scorpion feel, trapped under glass, waiting for someone else to decide its fate? Marcy asks him not to kill it, and that moment becomes symbolic. It's foreshadowing. Its armored body, stinger, and patient stillness mirror the xenomorph itself, but also can be seen as a sign of what is to come with Marcy once she is in her hybrid body as Wendy. The conversation is really about power, fear, and captivity. Do we dominate, or do we empathize? Turns out Marcy empathizes with the scorpion more than we ever could have imagined. Last and probably least, we have rabbits. In the Prodigy Corporation's labs, we see something both ordinary and unsettling: rabbits. At first, they look harmless, twitching in cages under fluorescent lights, but their very presence says everything about the company's experiments. In Prodigy's obsessive quest for progress, any and every creature is fair game. These aren't pets, they're test subjects. In episode 1, their cages appear alongside other specimens, hinting at what's to come. Viewers immediately understand the setup. If facehuggers or parasites are involved, these small animals will be the first to pay the price. Other animals in the comics and novels. Beyond the films and TV series, the Alien Expanded Universe in comics and novels has introduced several other instances where Earth animals are caught in the deadly world of xenomorphs. We've already had Spike, but this is not the only one of man's best friends to feature. In the Aliens Hive comic, 1992, Dr. Stan Mayakovsky brings his pet dog, Mac, along on a space expedition. Mac, a golden retriever mix, forms a bond with an artificial xenomorph created by Mayakovsky. In a rare, heartwarming moment, Mac plays fetch with the synthetic alien, creating an unusual but touching bond. Unfortunately, Mac's fate is sealed when chaos erupts during a mission to retrieve xenomorph royal jelly. His death leads the artificial alien, Norbert, to take heroic action, underscoring the emotional bond between dogs and all species, even in the face of xenomorph horror. In Alien's Original Sin, 2005, Rex, a Labrador Retriever, becomes an unlikely survivor in a colony ravaged by xenomorphs. Amid the devastation, Rex manages to survive the outbreak, somehow evading detection. The most extraordinary of all is next. The Crocodile-Alien. In 1997, DC and Dark Horse gave us one of the wildest crossovers ever: Batman Aliens. Deep in the South American jungle, Batman stumbles onto a hidden Mayan temple, and inside, a xenomorph hive. But this hive isn't just birthing the usual creatures. No. One of their hosts was a crocodile. From that host came a nightmare, the Crocodile-Alien. Towering, reptilian, and built like a tank, it blends the sleek black exoskeleton of the xenomorph with the massive jaws and bulk of an ancient predator. When it makes its appearance, the Crocodile-Alien doesn't just stalk the mercenaries alongside Batman, it annihilates them. The standard aliens seem smaller and weaker compared to it. The fight forces Batman into one of his most desperate battles, relying on every ounce of his wits and combat skills just to stay alive. Implausibly, the billionaire in tights comes out on top. This beast showed how terrifyingly adaptable the xenomorph truly is. Animal pit fights. In Alien's Music of the Spears, a 1996 Dark Horse comic, we see pit fighting. But this isn't just man against beast, it's animals, thrown into cages, forced to fight each other, and then against xenomorphs. The ultimate spectacle isn't two animals tearing each other apart, it's when the fight masters bring in a xenomorph. The crowds go wild, but the results are always the same. No matter the animal, how strong, how ferocious, the alien adapts, learns, and kills. Bulls get impaled, cats torn open, engineered hybrids ripped apart. The pit becomes a stage not of competition, but of inevitability. Every fight is just another showcase of the xenomorph's perfection as a killing machine. So, from Jonesy the Survivor Cat to Spike the Doomed Dog, from Rascal and the Test Sheep to even rabbits and scorpions in corporate labs, the Alien franchise shows us that no creature is safe when the perfect organism is involved. Which animal moment in the series stuck with you the most? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden corners of the Alien universe, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a breakdown. Thanks for watching.